I'm walking and I see a Ferrari parked outside of a house. I don't know anyone who owns a Ferrari. And I see the guy who owns the house and the Ferrari come outside. I'm walking towards him. I'm getting nervous. I don't know anyone who owns a Ferrari. I should talk to him. Even though I don't really like cars, I couldn't tell you the name. GT7. They all sound like equations to me. It's a sign of success. It shows to me that someone has worked really hard and I respect it. So I gained the courage to spit out some words and I ask him, what's one advice he can give me so I can get a car like that? Before he even replies, his presence shows when he opens his mouth and he's smiling like this, and his teeth are so white. It's it's like he got them done that morning. They look so fresh, smiling like that. And he tells me to get a Ferrari, he had to work at a company for 10 years and he had to work really hard selling software. So he's told me quite a bit right there, isn't it? Worked really hard for a long time at one thing, and it also helps that he was selling software. So being in sales and being in software by themselves is pretty rich, right? So then when you combine the two, no wonder he has a Ferrari. He looks pretty busy, so I start walking away. I thank him for the advice. But the thing he says next is what I really learned. Because obviously I asked for the advice, he tells me work hard for 10 years, da da da. But what he says next is the true lesson, right? As I start to turn and walk away, he tells me, I should have got the Range Rover instead. It would have been practical. I should have got the Range Rover instead. That surprised me. That surprises me because I've heard it commonly where, someone is broke and they work really hard and they get their first 1 million. What happens when they get their first 1 million? Oh, 2 million sounds good. So they work hard again, they get 2 million, and that's not enough. So, hey, 5 million sounds good. Okay, maybe 10 million. And then so on and so forth. And it's just this carrot and a stick illusion, isn't it? It's just this chase, never ending treadmill. So to me, right, that's more of the common stories that I hear. Someone gets a Ferrari. Okay. What about two Ferraris? What about the latest Ferrari? What about more Ferraris, right? No, he didn't want more Ferraris. He wanted the Range Rover. And again, I don't know about cars, right? But I assume Ferrari is more expensive than a Range Rover, right? So he's gotten to the point, the symbol of our success, right? He's gotten to that point with the Ferrari. And he wants less. He wants the cheaper thing. That really surprised me because I've heard it, right? I've heard the chase where you work hard for the goal and then you end up wanting more. I've never really heard it where you work really hard and you get your achievement and then you want less. As humans, I think we're just built to never be satisfied. I guess that's why we have better civilizations than dogs. Sorry, dogs. But I guess that's why we've developed so much as species because we're just never we're just never satisfied. So this is such a good reminder for me because I'm trying to read all these books to become a millionaire. Before I become a millionaire, I gotta make my first 10K per month. I've got all these goals and things that I'm set myself out to do, right? But we always know that we get a goal and we're always gonna want more. It's never enough. And I'm not saying that we should not have goals. I'm not saying to be lazy and we shouldn't go out and achieve things. But more so, it's the reminder to remember what you're sacrificing. As I'm reading these books, I'm stop seeing my friends that I went clubbing with. I'm hardly on my phone, which means I'm not replying as fast to my family. As we go towards our goals, is it worth the sacrifice of not seeing and not talking to the people that we love? Because I'm not saying that I have the answers right now on this Instagram video, right? But the reason why I want to become rich and a millionaire and 10K per month is so I can look after my parents. So it's kind of this weird dance, isn't it? Where the reason why I'm putting my head down and working hard and not replying on my phone is so I could look after my parents. Which is weird because as I'm working hard to look after my parents, I have to not be on my phone and not reply as fast to my parents, right? And I'm glad I had this reminder and I'm glad I had the chat with the Ferrari dude because, man, as humans, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, it's just how we are. We set out goals, we achieve them, and we want more. I guess this is me projecting because I've heard those stories too many times about the depressed millionaire. They work so hard, they neglect their health, relationship, friends, and family, and they get that money, and they realize, they still feel like crap, even though they have the millions, because they thought that the millions was gonna fill that void. And I've not had the millions personally yet, but with all the stories that you hear from successful people, they always say that money doesn't make you happy, right? We hear it all the time as well, but we hear it quite a lot from people who have made the millions that we're looking to get. They all say happiness doesn't buy, money doesn't buy happiness, right? They all say it, but to me, to actually hear it from this Ferrari dude with his fresh white teeth telling me himself and me, for me to hear him say, I should have gotten the Range Rover. He said it like a kid as well. Like, man, let's remember why we're doing it, why we're making the millions and the 10K per month to begin with. So, thank you for being with me. Appreciate you.